On any given night, applications for communication and progress are unlimited around Major League Baseball. The Phillies chose the offseason app to acquire one of the best right-handers in baseball. He has delivered, and Doc Halladay dialed up his 16th win for his new team last night. The Washington Nationals chose the amateur draft app to select possibly the most highly touted college pitcher ever. Steven Strasburg has texted a giant message to Major League hitters from day one that he has arrived so quickly for a reason. The app to form your own opinion tonight on Comcast Sportsnet has been pressed. Blackberries and cell phones all around the Delaware Valley were a buzz today because Ryan Howard has been reinstated from the disabled list after one rehab assignment last night in Lakewood. He's back in the starting lineup and is batting cleanup as the Phillies get set for Game 2 of this series against the Washington Nationals. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Gary Matthews will be along a little later on. Well, there is a buzz here in the ballpark. There's always a buzz here at this ballpark, but even more so tonight because Ryan Howard has returned and Steven Strasburg makes his first appearance in Philadelphia.
What a way to return, huh? You haven't played for 3 weeks. You come back against this guy, but of course the Phillies are very happy to have Ryan Howard back, and it should be fun for us, at least, to watch Steven Strasburg here tonight. A great, great young talent, of course, at San Diego State, where he was just all-world in college. Pitched for Team USA, you see there, in the Beijing Olympics, and was just the Golden Spikes Award winner. You name it, the award that was out there, this guy won it with just amazing stats. He was in Major League camp with them this year, and, of course, then they sent him out to get him some work in Double-A, Harrisburg, and then at Syracuse. And this guy is always going to seem to have more strikeouts than innings pitched. That's just the way he is because of the amazing ability that he has now. His Major League debut against the Pittsburgh Pirates at Nationals Park, a sellout crowd, and he came right out dealing that night. One strikeout after another. He had 14 of them. Tom Hallion looked like he was going to throw his back out at one point, calling people out on strikes. There he goes again. Fastball, that was a changeup that disappeared, and a real good curveball. So this guy is a 3-pitch pitcher, all of them way above average, and he's a rookie in the major leagues. He had a little bit of a shoulder tightness, and they shut him down for a while, but he's back now, and this is what he's done in 11 starts. The last two, not as good as his earlier games, but 17 walks, too. It's just amazing to go along with 86 strikeouts. So I don't know how much the hitters want to face this guy tonight, but I can't wait to see him pitch because see a talent like this come into our sport. It's just a great thing for it, Tommy.
Yeah, the scouting reports on Steven Strasburg, when they say out pitch, usually they say fastball, breaking ball, cutter. For Steven Strasburg, they say all of his pitches are out pitches. So he'll be on the mound tonight for the Washington Nationals, and he'll be opposed by Kyle Kendrick, who has won 8 games so far this year for the Phillies, making his 24th start of the season. Kendrick obviously feeling better because Ryan Howard is back in the starting lineup. We'll get to those lineups in the first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota, and now's the perfect time to get yours during Toyota's National Clearance Event. Buy Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Buy Xfinity. It's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. Buy Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. And buy Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Back in action. Ryan Howard, after spraining his ankle 16 games ago, is back over at first base after one rehab start. There was some thought that he would have another one tonight, but he felt so good after his rehab outing yesterday that they decided to activate him. So he's out there, and he is playing first base for the Phils, taking on the team that he injured himself against, the Washington Nationals. Let's take a look at their lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at center, Niger Morgan. Ian Desmond, the shortstop, bats second. Adam Dunn's at first base, followed by the cleanup batter, Ryan Zimmerman. Roger Bernardina's in left field once again. He'll bat fifth. Adam Kennedy hits sixth. Ivan Rodriguez, the catcher, bats seventh. Willie Harris makes the start in right field. He'll bat eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is right-hander Steven Strasburg. And they will face righty Kyle Kendrick, who wheels for all the problems Kyle had the first month of the season. He still has won 8 games, and his earned run average continues to go down.
Yeah, he's done a good job. You know, Kyle's been one or the other, it seems like, this year. He either gets off to a really good start and he has a good game, or he gets hit around early and he doesn't last that long. So, obviously, they're hoping that he lasts a long time tonight. Everybody knows he has to keep that sinker down in the Southwest Airlines scouting report. They have 5 left-handed hitters in the lineup tonight. The only reason they don't have more is they don't have any more. They're playing everybody they have. Both teams tonight have right-handed hitting benches, in fact.
Well, it's time now for the keys to the game, brought to you by Nissan.
Well, going to face the Phenom tonight. This could be fun. And he could have seen the opening day lineup.
Could have.
They are all available, but 2 of them are not playing.
It's the end of the model year, and Nissan's laying it all on the line. Nissan's bottom line sales event going on now. Niger Morgan leads it off for the Nationals, and we're underway as that ball is hit foul behind home plate and above our heads. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Nationals, who are 3-7 in their last 10 games, 20 games out of the National League East. And a fastball outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Kyle Kendrick has had a really tough time with these guys this year. He had 2 starts against them, and they hit him around. They're left-handed hitters. Had a lot of success against him.
And 2 starts so far this season against the Nationals. Oh, as they spin Niger Morgan out of the way. Kyle allowed 11 earned runs in 5 2/3 and allowed 12 hits during those outings.
Niger Morgan's a little bit like a Juan Pierre clone when you watch him play. He has a lot of energy like Pierre, and he's a very good bunter. And he was serious there. He was going to try and bunt, but then the pitch almost hit him.
2-1 the count to Morgan. Over towards second base. To his right, Chase Utley. He's got it, and you always have to hurry with Niger Morgan running. 1 away here in the first. Kyle Kendrick at his last start against the Mets went 6 2/3. Allowed 6 hits and just 1 run. And he pitched in some adverse conditions. For a sinker baller, to see the infield dirt as muddy as it was in that outing against the Mets, well, it could be startling. And he said the elements were pretty difficult, but he got more confidence as the night went on.
And he threw a lot of fly balls in that game, too. And in that ballpark in New York, that's okay, because fly balls go to die in that place. As opposed to this ballpark, where the carry's a little bit better. It's smaller. Boy, that Citi Field is a great pitcher's ballpark for fly ball pitchers.
Ian Desmond is the hitter. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Desmond. Desmond riding a 7-game hitting streak. You can see what he's done over his last 23 ball games. He's really established himself as a pretty good ball player. Offensively. Defense, well, that's going to come later on.
Yeah, this guy is strong. He's mule strong. He hit that ball last night, but if it's up, it's a tie game. Almost went through the 3 on the 334, the first 3 out there. And then Brad did a great job. Brad Lidge did a great job. Settled down, struck out Adam Dunn, and everybody was happy. Phillies fans were. And we've seen this guy go deep to center, left center, right center. He can hit it out anywhere.
There's Roy Halladay, who earned his 16th victory of the season last night.
It's a little different. Days he's not pitching, isn't he?
No question.
He is just different. On that day, he reminds me so much of Steve Carlton's intensity.
Back toward the middle. Jimmy to his left, off his glove. It'll be a base hit. Desmond He hasn't made very many good decisions on the base paths. He nearly made a bad one there. And he's aboard with a 1-out single.
Yeah, Phillies got lucky with him last night because he had third base stolen, and then bullet for left field turned into a double play. And even though he tried to scramble back,
he could have gotten to third standing if that ball wasn't hit.
Oh yeah. Well, he didn't know where it was. I mean, he heard a crack, and he'd gone into a slide, stealing third base, and now he's got to pop up out of his slide and scramble back. He was in emergency mode.
Oh, with one away and a runner at first, here's Adam Dunn. Dunn overall with 31 homers and 78 RBIs. Runner goes and then stops, and the pitch is inside and low.
Yeah, he did look like he was going to go, and you could hear somebody yell, "He's going" down there. And Brian Schneider came up ready to fire. The thing about that is you have to be careful because, that's a live ball. You fire it down there and fire it in the outfield or something, the guy can keep on going there.
Kendrick tosses over just to keep him close. Desmond has stolen 14 bases this year. He's been caught 3 times. Jim Riggleman, his first full year as the manager of the Nationals. Kyle overall, I should say, is 1-2 against the Nationals in his career. An earned run average just under 7. He has made 8 appearances against Washington, including the 2 starts this year. And he's behind Dunn 2-0.
Yeah, this is one of those left-handed hitters you just hold your breath against because he's such a low ball hitter. And Kyle Kendrick's going to try and pitch him down because that's where he lives, down in the strike zone. Has to be effective.
And he went up there, and it's 3-0.
And you don't want to give Strasburg runs right out of the chute. The guy obviously is good enough, but he's still a young pitcher, and you don't want to give him a lead. People are scoreboard watching here.
That's pretty impressive.
It really was.
Cubs beat the Braves 5-4. And ball 4 to Dunn. So a 4-pitch walk. And you see the final on our Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Cubs set a 5-1 lead, and it got a little dicey.
It was 5-0.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. They, for the fans that, there's so many people here that know what's going on. They probably saw that 49 up there next to Chicago. They thought, oh no, it's meltdown time.
Carlos Marmol, the closer. Ryan Zimmerman in the batter. Zimmerman overall, you see, hitting .305, 24 homers. He has a 7-game hitting streak that he's a part of. He can hit it to double plays, and he was looking for more than a double play there, and it's 0-1.
Well, that's one of the weapons that, of course, Kendrick has when he's on, is he can throw the ball down the strike zone, maybe get a double play ball. But I just want to stay out of any kind of first inning here to give Strasburg runs.
On the outside corner. That's a good pitch. And it's 0-2. That was a cutter from Kendrick. That's some late movement on it.
Yeah, it looks like a slider, but it just cuts just a little bit towards the outside part of the plate, and Zimmerman gave up on it. Right now, you can tell early in the count he's been looking middle in. Now he turns into more of a defensive hitter, and he can hit it the other way too.
And he does hit it the other way. Utley to his left has one opportunity to get it out, and that's over to first. 2 away. So 2 groundouts to Utley. And they're sandwiched around a single and a walk. And the Nationals have runners in scoring position with 2 away.
Yeah, and Bernardino coming up right now. This is a spot where Willingham hit all year. A big-time RBI guy, home run hitter. They're going to miss him. You think last night how many times Bernardini came up in a big spot just like he is right now, and it would have been Willingham.
Bernardino last night grounded into a double play in the first, popped out to short, in his second at bat, both times with runners on.
Yeah, that's the point. You know, who knows? Maybe Josh Willingham, they get him out too. But, you know, that's an experienced RBI guy with power who would have been up in those spots 3 times.
Willingham out with a torn meniscus and is due to have surgery and will be out for the rest of the year. Runners lead off second and third. The 1-0 pitch coming to Bernardino. And it's 2-0. A lot of pitches for Kyle already here in the first. And more balls than strikes for him. Well, the good news is he's trying to work it inside. The bad news is he's working behind.
Yeah, really, you want to get Bernardino here because he's a less experienced hitter than the guy on deck.
Right, Adam Kennedy's waiting on deck. He's been hot.
Right, they're not trying to pitch around. I don't think they shouldn't be trying to pitch around Bernardino here. And with a guy like Brian Schneider, they're not. You know, he's not going to do that to get to Adam Kennedy. As you say, a more experienced hitter and a better hitter than Bernardino, even though Bernardino can hurt you right now with the count where it is.
It's a hitter's count, 3 balls and 1 strike. And ball 4, second walk of the inning for Kendrick. And the bases are loaded. Second night in a row, the Nationals have loaded up the bases in the first. Last night they did it with 1 out. And Rich Doobie watched as Roy Halladay was able to get Bernardino to ground into a 4-6-3 double play. They don't need the double play here, but they certainly need the out. So with the bases loaded and 2 away, Adam Kennedy is the hitter. One of the things that Kendrick has not done, particularly in the month of August, is walk batters. In fact, he walked 1 in his last outing, 2 in his outing before, and none to open the month against the Marlins. Well, he's walked 2 already here in the first. And he's behind 1-0 to Kennedy. And Steven Strasburg has had to wait for his first opportunity here in Philadelphia.
But that was a lot of laughs for him warming up out there tonight.
I'm sure the fans got very creative.
Oh.
Something about the first innings the last few nights here in the ballpark. A lot of pitches by the Phil starters. Giants series, there were some runs. 2-0 the count to Kennedy. 3-0.
Well, no defense for this.
Ivan Rodriguez waits on deck.
Predictable response. And why not? Everybody goes to a strike.
I'm sure that was the response for most folks around the Delaware Valley watching tonight.
Amen. Was up here.
3 balls, 1 strike, the count to Kennedy with the bases loaded here in the top of the first. Ball 4. And that walks in a run. And the Nationals lead at 1-0. 3 walks in the inning for Kyle Kendrick. Three walks and an infield hit. Well, he walked 3 back on July 29th against the Diamondbacks in 6 1/3. He walked 3 on the 19th of July against the Cardinals. We have to go all the way back to April when he walked more than 2 batters in a game. So 2 outs, bases loaded, 1-0 Washington. And some other news around the Phillies ball club today. Greg Dobbs has accepted his assignment to the minor leagues. He was designated for assignment, went through waivers. Nobody claimed him. And he will report to the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. And he's already reported, and he's batting second and playing right field for the Iron Pigs. They're playing Rochester.
Our stats whiz. Carl Graver just boom into that. He had it. No problem.
Be interesting to see if Carl can predict what Greg's going to do tonight. Then he'd really be.
Well, you never know.
Ivan Rodriguez, the hitter, with the bases loaded. Rodriguez hitting .272. And that's over for a strike. It's 0-1. Now, Rich Doobie went out to the mound. And that wasn't, you should try this. That wasn't, you should try that. That was, hey, let's go. That was a pep talk that Rich has done from time to time with Kyle during his career here in Philly. Line drive, base hit into center field. One run's going to score. Rounding third and heading home, Bernardina. He's going to score. It's 3-0 Washington. And that is not the way anybody hoped this one would start.
No, not with this guy on the mound tonight. You're dealing with a pitcher you don't think you're going to get a whole lot off, and you go into a 3-0 hole before you can blink. Fastball right down the middle, came tailing right into Ivan Rodriguez, and that guy's done a very good job for them this year.
So 3 runs have scored at the inning on 2 hits and 3 walks. And Strasburg probably didn't anticipate that he'd have to put his batting gloves and his helmet on.
No.
Here at the top of the first, but that's what he's doing with Willie Harris at the plate.
Pitchers love that. Love to get up in the first inning. Well, this is, a little bit like we set up with Kyle Kendrick. He's either been real good or not so good.
Well, the good news for Kyle is that he has received the 6th highest run support in the majors. He's going to need it tonight.
Yeah. Just pitching away from the bat here in the first inning has really gotten hurt.
Hit hard to the right side. Diving play. Utley to his feet. Throws. And Howard stayed on the bag. That ankle's feeling pretty good right now. Chase Utley picks up an assist on all 3 outs in the inning. This one was a big one. To a belly flop. And then to his feet. And Ryan Howard hangs onto the bag. To help out the Phils in the top of the first. We'll get a chance to see what he's going to do offensively in the next little bit. Let's take a look at Charlie's starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off at shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Placido Polanco, the third baseman, bats second. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Ryan Howard in the cleanup spot. Shane Victorino bats fifth. He's in center. Raul Ibanez hits sixth. Number 7 batter is Dominic Brown in right field. Brian Schneider does the catching. Hill at 8. And batting ninth and pitching, of course, is Kyle Kendrick. And they will face right-hander Steven Strasburg, the 22-year-old who is making his 12th major league start this year. But Wheels, he has a pretty good workload from the minors, too.
And you can see why they stock so many left-handed hitters in the lineup, because 204 for right-handed hitters, 260 for left-handed hitters. Tremendous walk-strikeout ratio for a first-year guy. Now, this guy is supposed to be special. He is. Here's our Southwest Airlines scouting report on him. 3-pitch pitcher, and they're all power pitches. He can get you out and strike you out with 3 different type of pitches. And they say he's very good at holding runners on, which is amazing because you figure how many base runners has he had on.
Well, he'll go to work against Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy overall hitting .246 with 5 homers and 31 runs batted in. And he takes a fastball for a strike at 97, and the count is 0-1. Phillies have their top 4 hitters, Rollins, Polanco, Utley, and Howard, in their normal spots for the first time since June 25th. How about that?
It's amazing. And we mentioned Ruiz and Worth, who would be part of the everyday lineup. The ones that started the season are healthy and just not playing here tonight. They're right-handed hitters. So Charlie trying to put a lot of left-handed hitters in here against Strasburg.
1-1 the count to Rollins. And he takes a fastball outside, 2-1.
Got to go up there a little bit on a recon right now. And, you know, that's easier said than done when you have stuff like this guy. He comes out throwing 97, 98 fastballs. But, you know, you like to see what he throws. But you don't want to get behind him necessarily.
Jimmy tops it up the first base line, and it rolls foul. So 2-2 the count. Now the Phillies have so much video at their disposal. Kevin Camashole does a great job providing the video for the Phillies hitters and even the pitchers. Plus, Strasburg's games, his games have become national games, so they're on all the time.
Yeah, you could see them a lot more there. There's Jason Worth and Mike Sweeney, 2 guys that are not playing tonight, right-handed hitters. You could, sure, you have a lot better chance to watch a guy, but you don't know until you step in the box and see what's coming after you.
Curveball and a call, strike 3.
Like you can see that hook on TV all you want, but then have 2 strikes on you, and a rookie throws that, and Jimmy didn't think it was a strike, but he never complains. And you see a curveball grip right there, and it's a big overhand, hard breaking ball. He thought that thing looped the plate or was outside. Brian O'Nora didn't.
Oh, with 1 away, here's Placido Polanco. Here's Jimmy giving a little scouting report to everybody in the dugout. Polanco hitting .316, but he hasn't had a hit in the last 3 ball games.
Well, even a guy like Strasburg with the great stuff that he has, you give him a 3-0 lead, he goes out there loosey-goosey. Oof.
98 with that fastball. It's 1-1. Well, we showed you highlights earlier of his major league debut. That night, he struck out 14, which was 1 off the record for a debut by a pitcher. As he throws that curve, and Polanco backs off and takes it for a strike, and he thought it was inside.
Enzo worked across the front of the plate. It looked like it looped it. He hasn't thrown his changeup yet. Fastball, curveball.
Another breaking ball, chopped towards short. Desmond throws out Polanco for the second out. Well, we said before that all of Strasburg's pitches are out pitches, and here's the disbursement in percentage of those pitches. Fastball, curveball, changeup, 58%, 26%, and 16%.
Yeah, and that's right now with the fastball curveball mix in the first inning. That's basically right on, and he hasn't thrown a changeup yet, but he will.
Bloomberg Sports, the leader in data analysis. Go to BloombergSports.com for more details and some of the information they could provide you to make you a better fantasy player, or just to overall maybe make you a better fan. Have some discussions and some arguments with your buddies about some of the stats. Here's Chase. Chase has hit an 11 straight against the Nationals. He's 4 for 15 since coming off the DL, and he scored the only run of the game last night. And he hits one foul.
Interesting to look down at the Phillies bench right now. Everybody's staring straight ahead. Well, now they aren't, because the pitch was just thrown. But before the pitch is thrown, they're all watching. because, you know, they all Major League Baseball players, and they know how hard it is to get to this level. And then you see somebody who's this exceptional. You want to just take a look.
Roy Halladay's taking a look. And there's the changeup for the first time, and he rolls over on it, pulls it toward Kennedy at second. And it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the first. So the Phillies go down in order. We've played one here in Philadelphia. Steven Strasburg of the Nationals lead it 3-0. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear straight from the official source, thephillies.com shop. Steven Strasburg leads it off for the Nationals, and he has a 3-0 lead as we begin the top of the second. Strasburg 1 for 18 in the big leagues this year. Obviously, most folks in the world of baseball heard about Strasburg last year during his junior season at San Diego State, because he exploded onto the scene with some unbelievable numbers. You know, it's the college game, so maybe it's a little different than the majors, but he struck out 23 in a game last year.
Well, there's no doubt who the #1 overall pick was going to be. It's just a matter of whether you could sign him.
Hits it hard towards short to his left, Jimmy. And J-Roll throws him out for out number 1. I remember talking to Tony Gwynn last year. We had him on the air. Tony, we asked him about Strasburg and his makeup, and he said, second to none.
No problem.
No problem at all.
Won't be a problem.
Well, he was the #1 overall pick a season ago. And less than a year later in the big leagues. I think a lot of people expected that. So 1 away. Here's Nyjer Morgan. He grounded out to begin the first, as the first inning began very innocently for Kyle Kenrick. And he bunts in the air behind home plate. Schneider dives. He can't get it. Good effort by Brian. He turned immediately.
He couldn't find it right away. You know, that's tough when the ball's not in the air that high. There's Carlos Ruiz getting the night off here and pops it up. Now he knows it's back there somewhere. Now he sees it. Oh, almost got there. Good try. And the crowd gives him a nice hand there for that effort.
Toward right field, that's pretty well hit. Dominic Brown going back to the warning track, to the wall. He jumps and it's off the top of the wall. Morgan can fly and he's around second. The throw by Brown cut off by Jimmy Rollins, and that'll be a triple for Niger Morgan.
Pitch looked like it was down and into a guy with no homers. And, you know, down and in to a left-handed hitter, all they got to do is drop the head on it and golf it, and that is pretty close. Off the scoreboard out there over his glove. He had a long way to go for that. Jumps. Take another look right here. And you see it's over the glove and then off the wall and then back into play.
Niger Morgan has just 4 major league home runs. He nearly had his 5th, but he is over at third with 1 away for Ian Desmond. Now the Phillies have to play the infield back. They don't want this inning to get out of hand again, but if the run scores, it's a 4-0 deficit. Desmond on the hands. A roller back to the mound. They've got Morgan coming home. The throw to the plate. He is. What is he? Out! Brian Honora was waiting to see if Brian Schneider had the ball. He waited a long time.
Well, if he didn't have it, I don't know where it was.
I was thinking the same thing.
You know, unless it was tucked under his chest protector or something, you couldn't see it. They were going on contact there, and it really looked like they were going to steal a run with that guy's speed. And Kendrick kind of double pumps here. Watch. See, he's coming on contact. See, he didn't get it out right away, and then he flips it instead of throwing it. He's definitely out. And
he just said, let me see the ball.
Yeah, the ball's in his glove the whole time there. He just flips it to him. Good job by Brian to make him go through him.
Right there he said, let me see the ball. And there it was.
Yeah.
He did a great job blocking the plate.
Well, what Honora knew was that everything had happened there that the guy was out. Unless the baseball was on the ground somewhere. So that's when he went. That's when he said to him, you know, let me see the ball, because he couldn't see it. So the guy did a good job, the home plate umpire there. And so did the Phillies catcher.
Here's Adam Dunn. Dunn walked his first time up. One of 3 walks issued by Kendrick.
And that was an aggressive play by the Nats. And, you know, why not? With a guy with that kind of speed, they go on contact, take their chances.
Already leading at 3-0.
Right. And, you know, and what Jim Riggleman, of course, hoped was the ball wasn't going to go to the pitcher.
Opposite way. Ibanez heading back. Makes the grab on a sinking liner. Other side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. We have played 1.5 here in Philadelphia. Kyle Kendrick and the Phils. Well, they trail at 3-0. Members of the 2009 Eagles, cornerback Asante Samuels and starting strong safety Quentin Michael. They discussed their roles on this revamped team, what lies ahead for their squad as they head into the 2010 season with Kevin Cobb at the helm. Don't miss Meet the Eagles Sunday at 10:30 only on Comcast Sportsnet. Oh, a nice reaction for Ryan Howard as he leads off the bottom of the second.
Welcome back. Now hit these bullets.
When Ryan went on the disabled list, he was leading the league in RBIs. He's no longer leading the league, but he had an impressive run, 81. And he takes a fastball outside. It's 1-0. Now they have the overshift on against Howard. If he needed to be reminded of that, all he had to do was play in a single-A game last night because they had the overshift on against him last night.
How about that? They had it on at Lakewood. This injury to Ryan Howard, of course, happened against the Nationals in the first inning. Ben Francisco blooped a hit to right field. A run scored. Ryan came around second and kind of stumbled back to the bag, bent that ankle under. And every time we looked at that replay, you thought it got worse and worse.
Ryan hits it on the hands towards center. A base hit. First hit of the night. And he's aboard. And he's running pretty well. Just getting used to that tape job that he has. That's one thing Charlie Manuel talked about. If you've ever done anything to your ankles and you've had to get them taped for the first time, it takes some time to get used to it.
Okay, got a curveball there, and it was a strike. Just kind of fought it off, put it into play.
So Ryan's aboard. Flips off some of his gear over to Davey Lopes. A couple batting gloves. Wrist guard. And here's Shane Victorino. And he takes a fastball low. It's 1-0.
Davey was talking about Strasburg before the game, saying he'd watch his tape on him. He has a real good slide step. Now, he wouldn't use it here, I don't think, because he's not going to worry about Ryan Howard going. So, why even waste it and cut down on the potential of delivering your pitches from the stretch with a slide step.
Outside, 2-0.
Kind of used it there a little bit.
Yeah, he did.
And there's really no sense in it, I don't think. But, maybe it doesn't bother him. But most guys don't want to slide step if they can avoid it.
See what base stealers have done against him this year. 2 for 3. Not a whole lot of opportunities. And a foul ball. That got a piece of Pudge and also Brian Honora. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Francis Huster of Lansdale, PA. If Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game, then Fran will win $300. A little late on that pitch, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
When you see that, you wonder if he'd throw him anything off speed. But Victorino can hit a fastball. And what Pudge decides to do here. Curveball.
And he tops it foul to the left of the plate. And Ryan looks like he's running pretty well. I know that was a foul ball, but he didn't look like he was bothered at all by that sprained ankle.
Well, they just decided that they wanted to disable Ross Glow today. He obviously was having some problems when he tried to play here the other night, and they tried to get through it with him. Decided, nope, I'm not going to do it anymore. So it was a perfect time to bring Ryan Howard back.
Checked his swing, and they appeal. No swing, says Phil Cuzzy. Well, Ryan had a great comment about whether he'd be ready to come back this weekend. He said, well, if I'm okay to come back, I'm going to come back. And I better be okay because Charlie doesn't substitute too much. When I'm back, I'm back.
Yeah, I'll play.
Ryan's not being held on at first. And a swing and a miss and a changeup.
Man,
a 90-mile-an-hour changeup.
A 3-2 changeup with a 3-run lead. That is something. I mean, you really think if you're Victorino as a hitter right there, you think you're going to get challenged. And he squirts this thing up there at 90. And that's got some fade to it, too. You can check out his grip later on, we can for the thing. It looks like he chokes it a little bit, But look, that said it all right there. We were kind of doing the same thing. Like, are you kidding me? A 3-2 changeup with that kind of dive? Like, I didn't expect that. And why would you?
Well, here's Raul. His average is at 265 with 11 homers. And he takes a changeup on the outside corner. It's 0-2.
See, you shouldn't be able to have 3 pitches like this young. It's not fair. I mean, even Gooden, when he came up, just threw fastball, curveball, and dominated. This guy's got 3. That's some changeup.
I think the first night he pitched against the Pirates, it was one of the first times I think everybody saw that changeup. And he throws it again to Ibanez, and he picks up another strikeout. 3 strikeouts.
I mean, they're all up there geared for 97, 98, and then he throws that thing. And he's already proved he could get a curveball over. Watch the fade on this changeup.
You're in defense mode at that point.
Hides it pretty well right there. Couldn't see the grip, make it another shot later. But I think I saw one time looked like he had 3 fingers where he's choking it.
Well, here's Dominic Brown, who had a leg up on everybody else in the Phillies lineup because he's faced Steven Strasburg before. Faced him earlier this year when Strasburg was pitching for the Harrisburg Senators. And Dominic was 0 for 2 against him with a ground out and a strikeout.
He said it was pretty impressive.
That night, Strasburg threw 5 innings. It was part of a doubleheader in the minors, and the doubleheaders in the minor leagues are just 7 innings apiece. He threw 5 innings, didn't allow a hit.
Well, this is one of those get used to it situations because last time I checked, these guys were in the same division as the Phillies. So we're going to see a lot of this kid. Now they're going to shut him down at a certain point this year.
Yeah, the Nationals have used the number 140 around that neighborhood as the possible shutdown time for Strasburg. And he's over 120 innings. Well, right around 120 innings with tonight's performance. 2-1 the count to Dominic. And a chopper back past the mound. Desmond charges, bare hands, throws. That's a nice play. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, couple strikeouts and a ground out. We've completed 2 here at Philadelphia, with the Nationals on top by 3. Go to the fans section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the question is, what year did the Phillies first break the 3 million mark in attendance? The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning.
How about last night's trivia question with the follow-ups we had? Huh?
Oh,
Rick
yeah.
Wise, that was pretty neat.
Talking about the bonus rule, which was implemented in Major League Baseball in 1947. And Rick Wise was part of the bonus rule when Major League Baseball, well, teams in Major League Baseball could sign a player for $4,000 or more, but that player had to be kept on the 40-man roster for 2 years. It was finally abolished in 1965.
Thank all the people that helped us out with that during the game last night. It was kind of late to get into it, but learned a lot. All I could remember was they had to keep him.
but 2 years.
Yeah.
Ryan Zimmerman leads things off here in the top of the third. And a changeup for a strike, and it's 1-1. Now, Zimmerman would be one of those quote-unquote bonus babies, you would think, if that whole setup was still intact, where there wasn't a draft and you could just sign whichever player you wanted.
There was no reserve clause then. Maybe the reason the owners did that was to try and make it really difficult for the other owners to spend money like that, because the penalty was you had to keep the guy.
Right.
And on a roster and taking up a spot for a guy when you had all those minor league teams in those days.
Well, I would have to think that a team like the Yankees, even at that time, were part of the reason why that rule was put in.
Yeah.
Towards center field. That's pretty well hit. Victorino on the run, still going back, a one hop off the top of the wall. And Zimmerman will pull it to second with a leadoff double. 27th double of the year for Zimmerman. And he's in scoring position with nobody out.
He really missed his spot here. And watch what Zimmerman does with it. That may have been a changeup or something off speed. And it was right in the middle of the plate.
That base hit's just the fourth for the Nationals in the first 3 innings. Here's Roger Bernardina, who walked his first time up. One of 3 walks issued by Kyle. First time since 2008 that Kyle walked 3 in 1 inning. Line drive, base hit to right field. Zimmerman's around third. Stop sign's put up by Pat Listash. And the throw is up the third base line. It's a base hit for Bernardina. And there are runners on first and third.
These are the kind of games that Kyle's had. He either takes you deep into the game or he unfortunately goes early, and they have to use a lot of guys in the bullpen. And it's not to that point yet, but it's getting there. Because you get Strasburg, he already has 3 right out of the chute. You give him a lot more than that. Just watching with the stuff he has, it'll be a long night.
Yeah, Kyle has 11 starts this year where he's allowed 2 earned runs or less. But he also has 8 starts where he's allowed 5 earned runs or more.
Right.
And there's the opposite end of the spectrum that you talked about. Phillies play the infield at double play depth with runners on first and third. And a strike to Kennedy.
And they don't want to get in the infield in mode yet. It's only the 3rd inning, even though you're facing a tough pitcher. You bring the infield in now, and a ball might shoot through and get into a much bigger inning. Right now, they'll give up a run for 2 outs.
One and one. Wheels talking about the bonus rule. That's where the term bonus baby came into play that you heard so much of back in the 40s and the 50s. Guys like Harmon Killebrew and Sandy Koufax were bonus babies at the time.
Yep. Hall of Famers.
In the air down the left field line and off into the seats, and it's 1-2.
The game was still a number of years from radically changing when the reserve clause came in. That just everything changed. Free agency, the reserve clause was wiped out, and it just the way of doing business was forever changed in this sport. And now the salaries are a little higher.
Kennedy stays alive. The foul ball went up toward the sweet level and then dropped down to the lower level. 50 pitches so far for Kyle, and still nobody out here in the third. Zimmerman's over at third. He led off the inning with a double. Bernardina, who singled, is at first. got in the kitchen of Kennedy, and he turned on it, pulled it foul. Adam Kennedy's had a pretty good second half. He's hitting over 300 for Washington as he's gotten a chance to play a little bit more. Christian Guzman was traded off to Texas, and that kind of opened up second base on a full-time basis for Kennedy, which is his normal position. Line drive into right field, a base hit. Brown gets to it quickly and gets the throw in. Zimmerman crosses the plate with the 4th run of the night for the Nationals. 3 straight hits for Washington. It's 4-0. Soft line drive by Kennedy, and he has a second RBI. And Brian Snyder is going to pay a visit to the mound to talk to Kyle Kendrick.
Like a changeup that he hit there, kind of one-handed it, but was able to loft it into the outfield there.
Now the Phillies will wind down the series against Washington tomorrow afternoon, and then the Houston Astros come to town. 4 games, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Good seats still available for Monday and Wednesday. Brett Myers starts on Monday for the Astros. Jay Happ starts on Wednesday for Houston. Go to Phillies.com to make your purchase, not only for that upcoming series against Houston, also for the remaining games on the schedule for the Phillies as we roll into the end of August and the beginning of September. Here's Ivan Rodriguez with 2 aboard and nobody out. Rodriguez singled home 2 runs his last time up as Danny Baez is starting to stretch out in the bullpen. Opposite way, knocked down by Howard, picked up by Utley. Nobody's covering first, and the bases are loaded.
Well, Kendrick thought that was a base hit, so he started to go to back up home plate there.
Oh, Rich Doobie's walking out to the mound. Fans are kind of reacting, hoping that there'll be a change, but nobody's loosening up in the pen. This night is really starting to unravel for Kyle.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to stay out there a while too. You know, it's obviously very disappointing because the crowd started by cheering the Braves losing.
Right.
And that's great. And then you go out and start to scuffle. Here's the ball right there, and Ryan makes a nice job there knocking that thing down. He wasn't able to control it, and I believe Kendrick breaks. He breaks it. Yeah, as we said, he thought it's a hit off the bat right there, so he's going home to back up home plate, and now of course he certainly cannot cover first base too.
If he had gotten over to cover, they would have had Rodriguez, but the ball was hit pretty hard. Ryan did a nice job getting a glove on it.
That's a good question there. I'm going to ask downstairs what you're supposed to do there as a pitcher. Are you supposed to decide whether that's a hit or not, or are you supposed to break right to first base? I think you're supposed to break towards the bag. I don't know.
Well, the bases are loaded,
and then if it goes through, then you're running back up home plate. But it happens fast down there.
It does.
It's real quick.
Yep.
And a lot of it is instinct and reaction. And if you react wrong, it's over before you have time to recover.
Willie Harris grounded to second his first time up. He's 0 for 1. He's got some pretty good speed, so if he hits a ground ball, he ain't got to hurry to get the double play.
Yeah, they're still not going to come in. They're still going to play back in double play depth here and try and get 2 outs for a run, because this has a chance to get real ugly.
On the outside corner, good pitch, and it's 0-2. See Willie Harris's numbers with 2 strikes. 8 for 85. On the inside corner, called strike 3. First strikeout of the night for Kendrick. And one away here in the third.
Well, he ran it looked like he ran a sinker back. You know, he's tried to do that a few times tonight, hasn't been able to do it. And he made a quality pitch here. Let's see. Yeah, see him run it back.
It's a good pitch.
Starts it at him and then runs it back. You know, he got that one over, and you saw Harris just freeze and like, oh, how'd I do that?
Well, now Strasburg, who grounded out his first time up. They'd love to get that same ground out here. And he whacks it foul toward his on-deck circle.
Yeah, they wouldn't mind if he struck out here. But the Nationals. Yeah. And get a chance for Morgan to come up.
That guy wouldn't mind if he struck out. See, on cue.
Yeah. Swing and miss, Steve. Do what you make the opposition do. Ow. You get beat up there behind home plate.
Pitch hitting for Kyle. A lot of strikes. That has not necessarily been a good thing.
One of the reasons the Phillies were able to beat Washington last night, they left a lot of men on base. Didn't hit with runners in scoring position. The Phillies didn't early, but then they didn't have many base runners. Said he'd been getting beat up back there. And he looks out at his buddies like, man, what am I going to do? You know, one of those nights.
Right side. Chase may have a double play. There's one. Jimmy turns, fires, not in time. And the run scores. It's 5-0 Washington.
It was a long double play. And give Strasburg credit. He really hustled down the line, too. But that would have been big to get out of it there.
Well, that's his first major league RBI.
Here it is. You see how long, see where Utley is cheating for the double play. Now he's way over there. You know, they did everything they could. He just really hustled down the line and beat it. Watch him
right
run.
Side. Chase may have a double play. There's one. Jimmy turns.
That's pretty good stride for a pitcher. You know, a lot of times they look like an ostrich running down the line. And that looked pretty athletic.
He looked like a llama.
Yeah.
Polanco plays in at third just in case Morgan decides to lay down a bunt. Swing it away. Slices it to left. Backing up, Ibanez makes the running grab, and the side is retired. Nationals scored 2 more as they pick up 3 hits. They strand 2. Middle of the third, 5-0 Nats. Honda. Look for money-saving leases and low financing at your Honda dealer. By Xfinity, it's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. And by your Quality Plus Ford stores. Bottom of the third, Steven Strasburg leads at 5-0. And he will face the bottom of the order, Brian Schneider, Kyle Kendrick. And at the top of the order, Strasburg was late to get out to the mound because he was on the base paths. There are some Nationals fans that are here at the ballpark, and I would think that Strasburg is fast becoming a lot like, let's say, Steve Carlton, guys like that, or even some of the other rookies in the National League East. You come out to see them play and hope from a position player standpoint that Brown, Stanton, Hayward, Davis are in the lineup if you root for those teams.
How about every team in the division has a big-time player they brought up this year? That's really interesting, that they all happen to be in this division. Now, there's some other guys around the league, but these are the guys that jump out at you, and they're all in this division. We're going to be watching them for a long time.
No question. If all five were with their teams at the start of the year, that it would be one heck of a race for the Rookie of the Year. It still is going to be one heck of a race for the Rookie of the Year. Ryan Schneider leads it off here in the bottom of the third. 5-0 Nationals. And a fastball inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Check swing, slow roller. Hit towards shortstop. Desmond scoops it up, throws on the run. 1 away.
See Desmond's athleticism, a lot of errors. Sometimes he doesn't get any help on the other end of his throws. Sometimes errors can be deceiving. That your first baseman can help you or hurt you a lot. That guy has a chance to be a really, really good player, I think, the more you watch him. Because you don't teach what he just did. Those kind of plays, he's made 2 of them in this game. That's just sheer athleticism, arm strength, and you can learn a lot of the other stuff.
28 errors this year for Desmond over at short.
And he's got tremendous potential as an offensive player. They have a pretty good player out there.
Kendrick batting for the first time, down in the count 0-2. A fastball and a curve.
That's dirty. Throw him a curveball. 5-run lead.
Fanatics found a friend, or I guess an enemy. Not going to miss. Another curve. 4 strikeouts for Strasburg. Hey, Phillies fans, sections of the historic Game Used Phillies sign are available for the Phillies at StadiumAssociates.com. Each piece is preserved and displayed in a commemorative case. You can purchase them at the Majestic Clubhouse store by calling 877-GO-PHILS during games at the Game Used Collectibles kiosk at section 126 or at Phillies.com. 2 outs, top of the order. Jimmy Rollins is up, and Jimmy swings and hits it softly back to the mound. And a quick inning for Strasburg. He hasn't allowed anything to the outfield just yet. All groundouts and strikeouts. We've played 3 here in Philadelphia, and the Nationals still leading at 5-0. Of the 4th, Steven Strasburg just had a 6-pitch 3rd inning. Hey, nobody delivers office supplies faster or for less than W.B. Mason. with free next-day delivery and in many locations free same-day delivery. W.B. Mason is the one office supplier that really delivers. Who but W.B. Mason? Gary Matthews joins us as we go to the top of the fourth. Kyle Kendrick still, Sarge, trying to settle in to some kind of consistency. He has allowed 5 runs on 7 hits, and he's walked 3 so far tonight.
Difficult time in that first inning in walking 3 batters. When you walk 3 batters, bad things are going to happen, but location has not been good.
Ian Desmond's hitting for the 3rd time tonight. And he misses outside with the first pitch. It's 1-0.
Yeah, when Kyle's on his game, he's getting a lot of ground ball outs. You know, keeping them hitters a little bit off balance. And these guys have had pretty good swings so far tonight.
We talk often about guys having success against specific teams, how it kind of carries over from start to start. Well, I guess when you struggle against specific teams, it carries over from start to start.
No question about it. When you just have that in the back of your mind. Good pitch. Good movement on that. But his key is, though, he needs to get ahead of these hitters as opposed to always pitching behind. Easier to hit when you're behind for a hitter. You become more predictable.
That one's hit through the hole at short. And Desmond's aboard with a leadoff single. He takes a wide turn around first. And that's the 8th hit allowed by Kyle. So a leadoff single here in the 4th, and that'll bring Adam Dunn to the plate. Well, with the runs that Kyle's allowed so far tonight, it's taken kind of the air out of the sail here because, you know, folks here are coming to the ballpark to see Steven Strasburg, to see the Phillies maybe beat him, and then they're down 5-0.
Well, they're seeing Strasburg. He's throwing that ball 98, change up, somewhere around 91. Very difficult to hit. You have to have a game plan on a pitch that you want to go on and hit. You can't look for all of his pitches and think you're going to hit this kid. He has great demeanor on the mound. He's been ahead of the hitters. And then he has the nerve to throw that breaking ball to give him a little bow locker there. And he's a tough hombre.
Adam Dunn, the hitter, and he takes a pitch inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Dunn walked and scored a run in the first. Lined out to left his last time up. So he's 0 for 1. Just can't establish the inside part of the plate, particularly against lefties.
Yeah, Dunn, even though you don't have that back line, he's been just about out of the box every single time. I tell him to get in the box just to really mess with him. See, that foot is on the back line, almost off of it as he gets a walk.
4 walks now by Kyle. He is really hearing the boos tonight.
Well, this crowd there, and the later that you get in the season where these games are so important, that's exactly what you're going to hear.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Cardinals have jumped out to a 1-0 lead over the Giants in the bottom of the 4th. Randy Wynn has hit a solo home run. That was the first hit for the Cardinals tonight against Tim Lincecum. Chris Carpenter's pitching for St. Louis. Here's Ryan Zimmerman.
Solid year again by Zimmerman. Good numbers, power numbers. Had a good chance for 100 RBIs. Been pretty steady.
Well, he's driven in 100 runs twice in his career. 90 runs or more 3 times.
Kyle looking for a ground ball, hopefully a double play to get him out of this. He asked for that pitch down and away. You see where it was, up and in. That's how much he's missing that location. Kind of got away with a pitch up and in there to Zimmerman.
To the count. Well, he's trying to get it away from Zimmerman, but not away from, not that far away.
Yeah, well, you want him to get where maybe he might check swing, but the ball, you're right, has to be a little bit closer to be effective. Give that hitter something to think about.
Back toward the middle. That could be two. Chase flips to second for one. A 4-6-3 double play. Well, he finally got the ground ball that he needed, and he got it in the right spot.
Right guy running, and you're right. Ball hit hard, had a little top spin on it. Now watch Kyle here goes for it. Now he kind of takes it back, and the pitcher shouldn't let that ball go. No, if it's right at you, sure, go ahead and catch it, but that's automatic. So he kind of just took his hand away a little bit, and there's that 4-6-3 double play.
I think that's so hard for a pitcher sometimes to react and take your hand away from it because you just want to go out and grab it. It's your reactions.
It is reaction. No, it's like that play where, you automatically run or you're going on contact at third base. Well, if we saw that ball going right back to the pitcher, common sense comes into play where you just don't go. You got to be able to read it and not just run into it.
2-0 the count to Bernardina, who has scored 2 runs tonight. He's walked and singled. Phillies trail at 5-0. You see the distribution of outs for Kyle.
You will say this, though, on the contact play. If it bounces off of that pitcher, manager's going to want to know why you didn't run.
Desmond leads off third. One hopper right at Chase. Grabbed it on the glove side. Side is retired. So Kendrick gets through the fourth without allowing a run. He strands a runner over at third. We've played 3.5. Let's see if the Phillies offense can solve Steven Strasburg, beginning with Polanco. For amazingly low office product prices. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now. And by Suzuki and the new Kizashi midsize sports sedan. Suzuki, the power of engineering. Last of the fourth, the Phillies have one hit. There was a single by Ryan Howard. Ryan will be up third in this inning. It's Polanco, Utley, and Ryan against Steven Strasburg. Strasburg has struck out 4 so far. He's retired the Phils in order twice. And Polanco takes a fastball at the knees. It's 0-1. Folks talk about Strasburg and, this being his rookie year. They try to compare him to rookie pitchers of past seasons. And that ball got a piece of Ivan Rodriguez. Rodriguez and Brian Honora really getting battered around behind home plate. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. And every year, Sarge, there seems like there's pitchers that come into the big leagues. There's that ball that went up and got a piece of Rodriguez. Pitchers that have come across the big league table that have great expectations. Polanco hits it in the air, left center field. Pretty deep on the run. Bernardina out to the alleyway. It's a one hop off the base of the wall. And Polanco's in scoring position. Second hit of the night for the Phils. First extra base hit. And for Polanco, it's his first hit in his last 13 at-bats.
Yeah, Lynn, a little bit of a slump as he drills this ball into left center. More center field going off the wall. Automatic double.
And Polanco is safe and secure at second. Safe and secure with New York Life. So the Phils have a runner in scoring position. Here's Chase Utley. Chase grounded out his first time up. And time is called. Anyway, Sarge, I remember when Mark Fidrich made his splash onto the big scene for the Detroit Tigers. Went 19-9 as a rookie. His first major league start, 9 innings, 5 strikeouts. Doc Gooden, his first major league start, 5 innings and 5 strikeouts. He went on to strike out double digits a few different times during his rookie years. Adam Dunn's there to clean up for Placido Polanco again.
Very, very thrilling game these days.
But do you recall anything following a pitcher in his major league debut like Strasburg?
Well, no, not at all. It's this ball's hit to the right side. Going to make it out. That's the way you want to make it. But I think one of the reasons he's been followed so much is because he throws so hard. When you're throwing that ball 100, you're throwing the changeup in the 90s, well, you're going to be looked at. Now he's with a team, too, that they're expecting for big things out of this guys, and not only that, to be their number one for years to come. This is why they're protecting him so much and not letting him throw a lot. But, guy throws the ball 100, has command of his pitches, the breaking pitches. He's tough.
Well, and Kerry Wood was a guy who came up at a very young age, and, he threw strikes his first year and struck out a lot of guys.
Yeah.
But he didn't seem to have the same following that Strasburg has.
Didn't have the demeanor that this kid has, and with Kerry pitching, his was more so much of an effort that he would pitch. This kid pitches with hardly any effort, and he's just free and throwing. And not only that, he commands that strike zone where Kerry Wood did not.
All right, now Tim Lincecum has won 2 Cy Young Awards, but even when he came up and made his major league debut against the Phillies, he didn't have the same anticipation.
Now, his came a little bit later only because of all that hair and as hard as he threw.
So hair does make a difference, huh?
Well, you have your own style.
Well, they play the infield back, leading at 5-0 for Ryan Howard. And Ryan fouls off a changeup, and it's 0-1.
This is big. Need to chip away, and this is a big run right here to be able to drive this run in there for Ryan Howard.
Broke his bat. That's going to get the run home. Kennedy, the second baseman, makes the play. Polanco crosses the plate. It's now 5-1. Nice job by the Phillies to get that run home, and they do indeed start to chip away a little bit.
Well, that's what you want to do, and there's a good indication that you don't always need to have a hit in order to score that run. That's what you call playing baseball there. Double, get them over, get them in. Continue to do that. Good things will happen for your club.
Victorino struck out his first time up on a 3-2 changeup. And he takes a breaking ball for a strike.
Well, this pitcher here certainly doesn't need any help, meaning giving him those strikes that maybe not a strike.
Well, he's behind 2-1 to Victorino. I mentioned he struck out 14 in his major league debut. That's stunning. J.R. Richards struck out 15 in his major league debut. Carl Spooner struck out 15 for the Brooklyn Dodgers back in 1954. Hoping to capture a sweet swing from Victorino as he grounds it foul, and it's 3-2.
Well, with J.R. Richards throwing now, he did not have the control that this Strasburg have. Facing J.R., I mean, he might throw 3 balls on the screen and then come back and throw balls right there on the black to get you out.
I thought he did that on purpose.
He may have, and it worked.
Breaking ball and a call. Strike 3. Victorino went down swinging at a changeup his first time up, and he goes down looking at a curve to finish off the 4th. 1 run on a ground out by Ryan Howard. We've played 4. Steven Strasburg has picked up 5 strikeouts and has a 4-run lead. Well, the all-of-a-sudden red-hot Milwaukee Brewers will be in town beginning Friday, September 3rd at 7:05 to start a 3-game series. It wraps up on Sunday, the 5th at 1:35. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Adam Kennedy swings at the first pitch. And he hits it towards center, and Victorino comes in to make the call and make the catch. What a way. That could be the easiest out that Kyle has had tonight.
Well, again, too, though, good pitch, though, as he jammed the hitter. So he could not get extension on that. And you don't have to throw that ball extremely hard. You just got to make sure that you hit your spots.
Here's Rodriguez. He has singled twice. First one drove in 2. Second one was an infield single off the glove of Ryan Howard.
Yeah, I thought maybe Kyle forgot to get over to cover. Whether or not they would have got him or not is another thing. But anytime the ball's hit to the right side, pitcher has to go to first base.
Yeah, and we were wondering on the air because Kyle thought it was going to go through, so he was going to back up. His responsibility still is to get to the first base bag, isn't it?
Once it's hit to the right side, yeah. I mean, if you're going that way, you see the play, developing. If it goes through, then I think you can get over.
Whereas he never started over, just kept on going back toward home plate.
Yeah, I thought it was closer to the mound than anything else, almost spectating.
Oh, and 2 the count to Rodriguez. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Pedro Feliz, an RBI triple, has given the Cardinals a 3-0 lead over the Giants and Tim Lincecum. That game's at the bottom of the 5th. Pedro's made back-to-back starts now for the Cards.
Well,
I think he batted 5th yesterday.
start throwing him breaking balls. Okay.
Ooh.
Well, they got the floating zone again. Strikes every now and then. See, and Kyle's just the opposite. You can't afford to take strikes away from him, especially that are good strikes. And the ball was certainly high enough and appeared to have a good portion of the plate.
There's Phil Cuzzy, who had the plate last night. May have broken his bat on that one, right in on the thumbs, and Kendrick flips over to first for the second out. Oh, 2 away here in the top of the 5th. Hey, tonight on Sports Night, get highlights and analysis of this ball game, plus a breakdown of the Eagles' preseason matchup against the Bengals. All this and more. That's tonight after the ball game on Toyota Sports Night, right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Kyle has 1 strikeout tonight. That was Willie Harris, his last time up.
Huge. Bases loaded. Had that pitch that kind of comes back, if you will.
Great pitch.
Those are the ones that he needs to be able to throw, and change ups. I don't know if he's thrown a lot of change ups tonight. There's one. Well, take that back. That's his fastball.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Trying to get that one to come back on the outside corner. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, not that it's any gigantic mountain climb for a starting pitcher, but I don't think anybody anticipated that Kendrick would still be out there here in the 5th inning.
Right. You know, until again, it just depends when he's coming up in that lineup, if men are on base or not.
And a called strike 3. He got Harris for the 2nd time on the same pitch. First 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Kendrick. We go to the bottom of the 5th. The Phillies get the offense rolling. trailing 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Kyle Kendrick just worked a 1-2-3, top of the fifth. First one of the night. Every time the Phillies retire the opposing team in order, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by the Xfinity Triple Play. It's your complete lineup for digital TV, high-speed internet, and home phone. Last of the fifth. Raul Ibanez, Dominic Brown, and Brian Schneider due up against Steven Strasburg. Strasburg tonight has struck out 5. Pitcher spot is due up 4th in the inning for the Phillies, so Danny Baez is up and throwing in the pen. This will be the 49th pitch of the night for Strasburg. There's Baez.
Tough pitch to hit. Fastball running across the plate. Appeared to be a two-seamer running away from the Ibanez. There's his changeup. That pitch there at 90. And again, when you throw that hard as a hitter, you're thinking, well, I got to get this bat started. And even though it's 90, which is as good as a lot of pitchers' fastball, still difficult to hit.
Raul fouls the fastball back. I guess a lot of times when there is hoopla following a specific player, sometimes that player lives up to it. Sometimes he doesn't.
Well, remember talking to Tony Gwynn, he said this kid was ready a couple of years ago just because of that pitch right there, that breaking ball. And he's a guy that knows pitching with all the batting titles and also a Hall of Famer who coached him. Oh, that's cheating.
Baez is down looking. That's the 6th strikeout.
Well, notice the tight spin that he has on that breaking ball. That's what makes it so difficult. Now take a look at this. This just locks him up here. Starts, he can't even swing the bat there with that quick spin. Very difficult pitch to hit from the left or the right side.
Ivan Rodriguez, as you see the pitch total for Strasburg, 28 of his 53, 96 miles an hour or higher. Ivan Rodriguez said that he's caught a lot of guys, which he has. He said this kid is unbelievable. And the Nationals took Rodriguez off the disabled list for Strasburg's debut. As Dominic Brown jumps and foul.
He's not doing a lot of shaking off tonight. I think previously he was shaking off Ivan Rodriguez, almost kind of calling his own game. Veteran catchers, they want to put down the fingers and they want that pitcher to throw that pitch. Here's a changeup he's getting ready to throw.
Strasburg shaking his arm. I think he may have hurt himself.
Well, usually he'll come on out because, again, they've been really protecting him. And you saw what he said. He's been wiggling in his arm. And Ivan Rodriguez saw that. He's going to go on out and just kind of take a look. And the trainer, he has been on the DL before with a little arm strain.
Yeah, he's been on the disabled list for 20 days because of a shoulder tightness. He was loosening up before a start and just couldn't get loose.
Now take a look at it. Now this is the changeup that he's throwing there. And you can see right away he kind of, where he felt something there. Then he's saying, hey, maybe I'm okay. And again, they're not going to take any chances.
There's no chance he's going to stay in the game, is there?
Well, whether or not he is or not, they're not going to take a chance on him anytime he has any kind of discomfort at all, because this kid is the future of the Washington Nationals.
Well, and that's interesting. Jim Riggleman's been a manager for nine different years in the big leagues, and he's had to manage Steven Strasburg a little differently than some of his other pitchers during his career. But he had Kerry Wood, so he's not going to embark on the same kind of path that he embarked on with Wood. Where some people wonder if Wood's arm problems were from the time that Riggleman was the manager of the Cubs.
Well, I don't think Riggleman had anything to do
I agree with you on that.
With the arm problems. I think for Kerry Wood, if You looked at him pitch even as a youngster in the minor leagues. I had the opportunity to do that. Everything was maximum effort.
Yep.
I mean, whether or not it was a curveball he was throwing or the fastball, you could just tell sooner or later there were going to be some problems.
But with that, Jim Riggleman said that taught him a lot dealing with Kerry Wood, and I think that's a great thing to think about as Riggleman manages Steven Strasburg. So a pitching change here in the bottom of the fifth. Why? Well, because of this pitch that Steven Strasburg threw. Well, Jim Riggleman and Steve McCatty just made the decision, along with the athletics trainer, that Steven Strasburg's night would be complete after 4 1/3. Craig Stammen is the new pitcher for the Nationals. Stammen in his 24th game, he's 4-4 with a 5.16 earned run average. He'll get as much time as he needs to loosen up because of the injury to Steven Strasburg. And he wasn't even stretching. He wasn't doing anything. Nobody was doing anything in the bullpen because Strasburg was pretty good tonight, Sarge.
Well, he sure was. Again, his demeanor was great on the mound with the fastball and the location that he throws it in. There's a backdoor breaking ball, another breaking ball inside there. And that's when he ended up hurting himself there. Notice he didn't throw another pitch. A manager can get fired being able to have him go out there and then do something that would maybe cause more and more problems. They might shut this kid down really for the rest of the year simply because this is the most innings he's ever thrown. Didn't throw that many during the course of a year in college. So they're not going to take a chance on it.
Well, let's take another look at the pitch. This was a changeup.
Watch his face. That will tell you all you need to know. And once he did that, and give credit to Ivan Rodriguez there for making sure that, hey, listen, we got a little problem here, as opposed to, hey, settle down and throw some pitches. That's what you get from your veteran catcher, knowing his pitchers.
Now, if you're Jim Riggleman and Steve McCatty, when you have a talent like Steven Strasburg, we were just talking about how Jim Riggleman was the manager when Kerry Wood broke in and was the skipper of the Cubs. You know, that's all stuff that he puts back in the back of his mind and uses as reference for a guy like Strasburg.
No question about it, and I think the general manager is here tonight, too, so I'm sure they've already talked about it. Hey, listen, any problem at all, you got to make sure you take him out. Club's going nowhere this year, right, with Strasburg or not. They want him ready for next year to be able to pitch and start to get into those 200-plus innings.
Well, I guess, you know, managers' jobs aren't easy. And there's not a lot of managers in Major League Baseball, obviously, but this is the kind of decision sometimes that I would think is difficult for a skipper. You know, all right, do we let him throw one more pitch to see if he's okay, or do you just err on the side of caution?
I got to tell you what, if I'm manager and he makes that caution, he's out of there right away, taking no chances at all.
Well, because he tried to talk his way to staying, it looked like.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. But he's out for me. I'm not going to take the responsibility of this kid getting hurt and saying, well, why'd you let him throw one more pitch?
Right.
That's just not going to happen for me.
Well, Charlie Manuel's obviously had those kind of decisions to make before. Jim Riggleman certainly has during his career. And it's continued tonight.
got to make this club feel a little bit better now that they got him out. Didn't knock him out, but he got him own self out. And, hey, let's start to chip away.
The count is 2 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Brown. And Dominic hits it foul over the third base dugout out of play, and it's 2-2.
Well, once you're facing a guy like Strasburg, and then you get now Stammen as he comes in, the degree of the pitching where you're facing 97, 98 at times with movement, this becomes a little easier for you. Not that it's easy at all to hit major league pitching, but I'm sure they'd rather face this gentleman.
Stammen has been a starting pitcher for most of his professional career, and that includes his major league time last year with the Nationals. He was 4-7 with a 5.11 earned run average and 19 starts with the Nats. 3-2 the count to Dominic Brown. The chopper back toward the middle. Kennedy, the second baseman, has it, and he throws him out. And they're 2 away.
Still a long way to go in this ball game. Only down by 4 runs. Fighting Phils have come back 18 times here so far this year.
I think what you said too, Sarge, your perspective kind of changes now if you're the Phillies.
Oh, you get happy. Yeah, I mean, you're not facing it be the same as facing J.R. Richard or Nolan Ryan. They get out of there in the 5th. Now you'll take your chances against anyone else.
Ben Francisco's come out of the on-deck circle for the Phillies. There's Ben.
Sure, that ball looks a lot bigger to the hitters and coming up there to the plate.
Stammen's numbers against the Phillies: 12 earned runs in 13 innings. Back on the 14th of April, he went an inning and a third, allowed 7 earned runs and 7 hits. A little thud off the bat of Schneider. And he retires the 2 batters he faces here at the bottom of the 5th. So the Phillies go down in order here at the bottom of the 5th as Craig Stammen picks up for Steven Strasburg. We go to the 6th. every single person who has been a part of the 100-plus consecutive sellouts at Citizens Bank Park. Since July 7th of last season, the Fightin' Faithful have filled every seat and every available standing room space to support their two-time defending National League champions. It's one thing to be a proud Philadelphia Phillies fan. It's a whole other level to fill up the ballpark every single game. Your loyalty is remarkable, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Well, speaking of Independence Blue Cross, that youngster probably needed a little Independence Blue Cross. That's Hunter Edwards, who was, doing a little swinging on a rope, and, well, he fell on both arms and broke both arms. He's had himself a long summer, but he seems like he's in pretty good peace of mind.
Yeah, and I tell you what, though, with the cast that they have these days, you're able to do a lot more than you normally do.
He thought he was on flex cam there, Sarge.
Oh, my gosh, I tell you, boys will be boys.
Craig Stabben leads off the top of the sixth. It's Kyle Kendrick still out there. He's allowed 5 runs on 8 hits. Won the count. When Billy Wagner was young, he broke his right arm, and that's how he began throwing left-handed.
Wow.
What do you think Hunter's going to do?
Not much he can do. Can't start throwing with his feet.
Got to play soccer. He'll have to play soccer, Sarge.
Well, playing a little. I'm sure he does that already. Looks like he's a pretty good athlete, even though he did fall. Must have been up pretty high.
A bouncer towards second, charging. Chase Utley, one away. Chase has been busy the last couple innings. Kendrick has retired the last 6 batters. A lot of pitchers settle in as the game goes on. Kyle looks like a totally different pitcher right now than he looked in the first few innings.
Looks a lot more comfortable now and a lot more relaxed than he did those first few innings. He's at his best, though, when he's getting ground balls. Not necessarily have to strike out the hitters. Good pitch on the outside part of the plate.
Well, he's gotten 11 ground ball outs tonight.
Just needs to keep that ball out of the middle of the plate. Have movement in and out. Stay ahead if you can.
Well, the ground ball on one hop, smothered by Chase. 2 outs.
That ball would have to have gone through him. Was not going to let it go by him. Wow.
You see the pitches per inning for Kyle: 31 in the first, 23 in the third. Now, at this point, he's down 5-1, so he's probably figuring, all right, can't get any worse. Let me throw some strikes.
Well, that's what you have to do from the first inning, but not just strikes. You got to throw quality strikes.
Here's Desmond, and it's 0-1. This kid's been on base 3 times tonight. 2 singles and a fielder's choice. He's been on base 4 times tonight. As he picks up his 3rd hit of the night. We showed a picture of Mike Stanton before. Well, the Florida Marlins will be here for a 4-game series. And that'll be in the first week of September. The 6th, there'll be a day-night doubleheader. The 7th and the 8th. The 6th, the night game, is a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night here at the ballpark. Get your tickets for that 4-game series and every other series coming up here at the ballpark by going to Phillies.com. Well, Charlie Manuel is out to the home plate umpire, Brian Honora, and he's going to put a double switch into play. He has the left-hander J.C. Romero loosening up in the bullpen. So J.C.'s going to come on to face Adam Dunn, a left-handed batter. It looks like Charlie's telling Brian Honora where Ben Francisco is going to bat. Francisco's going to bat at the 9 hole. And J.C. Romero is going to bat where Dominic Brown's spot is in the order, which is the 7th spot. So we've got a pitching change and a change to the Phillies lineup. Kyle Kendrick's night is done. He'll leave with a runner on first, trailing at 5-1. Six with 2 outs and a runner at first. Romero, the left-hander, on to face the left-hander hitting Adam Dunn. 42nd game for JC. 1-0, a 4.26 ERA. And he's trying to keep this at a 4-run game, which, as we've talked about, Sarge, plenty of time, plenty of outs left for this Phillies club that averages, more than 6 runs per outing for Kyle Kendrick. But JC's had a little rough go lately. Last 4 appearances, he's allowed 5 earned runs. He allowed only 7 earned runs in his first 37 outings this year. Ben Francisco is the new right fielder for the Phillies. He'll lead off the bottom of the 6th, so he's batting in the number 9 spot.
Yeah, he's batting in the 9 spot. Pitcher will be in Dominic Brown's spot, so that tells you that he wants J.C. Romero to maybe pitch a couple of innings.
Well, 5 left-handers in the lineup for the Nationals. 1 here. A righty up next. JC has not pitched in 9 games. Or 9 days, I should say.
Yeah, and that's a long time, too. And you do, even though they do throw on the side, you expect for them to come in and, throw strikes.
Swing and a miss. And it's 1-1. Runner goes. Desmond had that bag stolen, but Dunn fouls it off.
Well, he had a great jump. He made it with no problem. And he was timed that perfectly as he's off and running right about the same time that JC was coming up.
You want to keep him at first, though, Sarge. I mean, I know that there are 2 outs and you want to concentrate on the hitter, but you don't want to put him in scoring position.
You don't want, exactly. You don't want any runner just getting into scoring position. Done so far this year, 78 RBIs.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Cardinals have increased their lead over the Giants to 4-0. Brendan Ryan, an RBI double. Phillies lead the wild card by a game over the Giants. Another toss over, and Desmond gets back standing.
Well, one of the reasons you like winning your division, so you don't have to worry about that wild card. It's just so many teams in different divisions, and the only thing you can do to combat that is just win.
Because the Phillies They don't have the Giants or the Cardinals on their schedule for the rest of the year.
So then you're counting on other teams to kind of do your work or to beat them, but you got your own work to do, and that's to beat the team that's in front of you.
Swing and a miss. He got Adam Dunn. J.C. Romero comes on and gets the lefty done with a runner at first. No runs, one hit, one man left. We go to the bottom of the sixth with Ben Francisco set to lead it off. By Acura. Acura Advance by Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And buy your local Dodge dealers. Another sold-out crowd. 45,266. 102 sellouts in a row. They've been kind of quiet tonight. Phillies trail at 5-1. Then Francisco leads it off. He came on as part of a double switch in the top of the sixth. Craig Stammen, who came on in relief of Steven Strasburg, delivers a breaking ball for strike. Francisco overall, as you saw, is batting .250 with 4 homers and 21 RBIs. Ball was going right toward that gentleman behind home plate. He was trying to catch it.
Yeah, well, knew he had a whole lot of protection.
I just feel like if the Phillies can get some base runners going, the whole complexion of this game is going to change.
Well, and they know that. Looking for a fastball here if he's going to swing.
He does get a fastball inside the third base bag down the left field line. Bernardina got to it quickly, but Francisco still manages to slide into second with a leadoff double.
Boy, that's good hitting there by Francisco. Coming off that bench on the double switch there in the right field and driving that ball down the line, hitting a triple pitch there. 3-1 fastball. It goes right down the line there. You see it right there. Bernardine coming in, and he's off and flying there. Hope he tagged first base on that if he gets into second base.
Well, he is safe and secure at second. Safe and secure with New York Life. So a runner in scoring position for Jimmy Rollins, and he takes a fastball for strike one. Jimmy's 0 for 2. Struck out looking. Tapped one right back to the mound.
Well, same way, if he's going to make an out, you want it to be productive and get Francisco over to third base. Preferably, you'd like a hit. maybe a double.
There's Doug Slayton. He's up for Chase Utley and for Ryan Howard. Polanco's on deck, so you figure Slayton, or excuse me, Stammen is going to stay in the game for at least Polanco. Jimmy pulls it to the right side. That will get Francisco over to third. And with one away, Polanco gets a chance to drive in another run. Sarge, is there ever a point in a game, I think I know the answer to this, where you're not looking to manufacture and you're looking to really get something going? You know, like there with nobody out, you get the runner over to third.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job in getting him over. I'm sure he wished that pitch was up just a little bit more, having a little bit more patience, you know, to get yourself a pitch. Now, once you get to 2 strikes and you do that, okay. You know, it's just 1 strike on it, so you still have time to get that pitch that you want. Key is, though, you can't be afraid to hit with 2 strikes. I know J. Rowe isn't. Just a little bit anxious, though, for me in that at bat.
0-1 the count to Polanco. The infield is back. Holly just above the National League average. Getting runners home from third with less than 2 outs. That's been Francisco, who leads off third.
Pitcher's pitch, obviously, that he swung at. Toughest pitch for a right-hander. Slider there in the dirt. See how that ball stayed up for a while and had late break. Just want to stay up the middle with the ball if you can and get himself an RBI. Get closer there to the Nationals. Although first baseman Dunn appears to be in some.
Polanco slowly hit back to the mound. Boxed by the pitcher, and they won't get him. I don't know if Stammen picked his head up.
I think he just blew it, period.
What a break for the Phillies.
You know, after it went in, I mean, the first thing you have to do, obviously, is to catch the ball. Riggleman, he's seen enough. He's going to bring in the lefty. Air right all the way. See, and there's my point. One of the reasons you just don't go on contact all the time. Right back to him. And there's a play. He just booted it. Then he tries to make that throw to first base to Dunn. There it is again as he boots it. He's got to figure that the runner's not going to go from third base with the ball hit right back to him. But more of a panic job for me.
Well, another error for the Washington Nationals. And Doug Slayton is the new pitcher. He's coming on to face Chase Utley. Auctions, your chance to own a unique Phillies Wives Pro Pack. That's right. It's from August 19th through August 26th. The proceeds for the auction will be donated to Phillies charities to the Food Trust. Go to Phillies.com for details and to place your bid. Home half of the 6th. Phillies have 2 aboard with 1 out. And the left-hander Doug Slayton is on to face the lefty Chase Utley. Slayton, 38th game, 2-1, a 2.90 ERA. Lefties are hitting just 164 against him.
Well, you can actually feel the mood in the ballpark once runners start to get on base here.
Starting to change a little bit.
Oh.
Nice play by Rodriguez. And that keeps Francisco at third and Polanco at first. And it's 1-0. Chase has had success against Slayton. He was 2 for 4 coming into the series against him.
Rodriguez throws or calls a lot of breaking balls. And he does it first pitch quite a bit.
Sarge, a little rally sunglasses here at the ballpark.
And hat.
Yeah, the hat we see all the time. The sunglasses, we don't normally see that.
Yeah, that's true. 2 breaking balls there in a row. Wearing those upside down. See whether or not he's going to get a fastball to hit. Or if he'll continue to throw the breaking pitch.
Got the fastball. He lifts it in the air to shallow left. Desmond, the shortstop, puts it away.
Had a real good pitch to hit. A little bit late on it, almost as if he was unsure about swinging. Usually on a fastball, Chase Utley is a lot more aggressive. Not going to get a better count to hit on a 2-0 fastball. Let's see if the big piece here can pick him up.
Rides 1 for 2 tonight, 0 for 2 against Slayton with a couple of walks. Ryan, who had his uniform number 29 retired by the Lakewood Blue Claws prior to the game last night, his rehab assignment down in Lakewood, lays off a breaking ball. They appeal. No swing, says Phil Cuzzy. And it's 1-0.
Well, there's that breaking ball that Ivan Rodriguez calls. He'll do that often, especially with men on base. Lefties come up. He's going to throw and call that breaking ball and force that pitcher to throw that ball that he wants.
Swing and a miss. And there it is.
Again. I mean, this is his MO. He's done this for years with men in scoring position. And when you talk around the league, you know, usually from him, you're going to get that breaking ball. And if he doesn't throw it and 2 strikes, then he'll go back to that fastball. Usually it's a fastball away.
I guess part of that, Rodriguez is a good hitter and understands the mentality of the hitter. But he also figures, well, I'm going to block it.
Right. Well, he's going to block it, but he's trying to go on knowing that these are good fastball hitters. So you throw them first pitch fastball, you could be in trouble. See what he's going to call now. And that's when the hitter has to be smart, because you know that, you know, this is now 4-6 breaking balls. He's thrown 2 to Chase Utley, and he's thrown right now breaking balls. He's continually throwing breaking balls, but he is, though, he's at those in pretty good spots. Keep throwing them, keep throwing them. You're hoping sooner or later that he's going to hang one.
Trying to sneak a fastball the outside part of the plate.
Pitches backwards, you know, early with breaking balls and then late with the fastball. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he got a 3-2 breaking ball.
Francisco's over at third. Polanco's at first. Polanco will be off on this pitch. The 3-2 to Howard. A breaking ball, and he went. He's down on strikes, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit. 1 Washington error, The Phillies Strad 2, and Doug Slayton comes on and gets the 2 lefties he needed to finish up.
Steven Strasburg had just electric stuff here tonight. Then it looked like he threw that changeup there and winced, and then I don't know. I don't want to be a doctor, but he looked at a part of his arm, which is never good for a pitcher. So. And I don't think we've had any report yet on him, so we'll just wait and hear. But you just hope he's okay, because that's some kind of electric talent that was out there tonight. Good for the game, and 4 1/3 innings, and he was amazing. 6 strikeouts. And they jumped on Kyle Kendrick kind of early tonight. Watching it, Phillies have started to show some life, but that last inning was big when Slayton was able to come on and get those 2 outs there.
So after our Verizon Wireless game summary tells you what happened the first 6 innings, we begin the 7th. And Ryan Zimmerman leads it off. Ryan is 1 for 3. He has doubled and scored a run. He's also hit it to a double play and grounded out to second. And it's 0-1 to him. J.C. Romero remains in the game. That's because there's a couple lefties up after Zimmerman. And a fly ball to shallow left field. Jimmy Rollins backs up on it, and he makes the catch. Good pitch by Romero.
Yeah, the Phillies have Contreras up in the bullpen. If they get to a point where they want to have to face Rodriguez in this, and they have Contreras. There's Jose back there behind Jerry Crawford.
Bernardina has a couple runs scored. He bunts, and that ball hit him out of the box. He is out. 2 away. The putout goes to the catcher. And Brian Honora right on that call.
That's 2 unassisted. That happened the other night in New York, and the Phillies didn't get a call. I'm trying to think who it was. Reyes? Castillo on Sunday. He was way out of the box when he bunted the ball. Didn't hit him, but he was out of the box. In this case, it sure looks like he's out of the batter's box when that. There he is.
It was his left foot that was out of the box, and the other foot was lifting.
Yeah. And that looked like it was pretty close to being out, too.
Brian Schneider called it immediately as Jim Riggleman came out for the explanation. He didn't agree with Brian Honora.
I think if Cuzzy would have come down the line and said, waved it off, if he thought that he went out of the box, now let's see. Right? He's out.
Yep.
Good call.
Well, 2 away. Here's Adam Kennedy. And a strike to Kennedy. Bernardina can run. That wasn't a bad idea on his part. Sounded like he may have broken his bat. A little roller back to the mound. J.C. Romero, very quick and easy. Top of the 7th. 1, 2, 3 go the Nationals. Romero has retired the only 4 batters he's faced. It's time to stretch here in Philly. Stop the Fans Trivia Quiz answer. Wheels, here's the question. What year did the Phillies first break the 3 million mark in attendance? You want a hint?
No, I think I know it, but I'm going to take a flyer. All those good years they had, I don't think they did it until the 93 season.
You would be correct.
And that was just a guess. That was lucky.
3,137,000.
Now, what I want to know is how close did they come in those 70s and 80s?
Well, there's not a lot of information on the card.
All right. Well, they'll come up with it.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That is a good question.
Because I think they came close, but they never did it.
Well, log back on to Phillies.com. Find out if you're the winner of the Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge. Stump the Fans.
And the only reason I remember that is because they, he made such a big deal about it when it happened that the Phillies had finally hit the 3 million mark with that great team in '93 that people just love so much.
Shane Victorino leads it off, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Victorino.
Slayton will be in here for Victorino, Ibanez, and then Phillies have to show a right-handed pinch hitter because that's all they have on the bench, and then they'll go to the pen.
Worth, Valdez, Sweeney would be one of the 3 options. You figure Ruiz will not be an option. There's Mike Sweeney.
The Nats bullpen's improved. This is where the Phillies used to get them all the time. They have a 14-2 record in the last 16 games in this ballpark. A lot of it in late innings when they get after their bullpen. Even games down in Washington. But they're better right now. And they're a little tougher to get runs off late in the game than they used to be.
Victorino hits it right at Zimmerman. That throw was a little better that time. 1 gone now in the bottom of the 7th. Hey, reminder that the Houston Astros will begin a 4-game series with the Phils this Monday. A couple of those games are already sold out, but there are seats available for Monday and Wednesday. Brett Myers is scheduled to pitch on Monday. Jay Happ, who pitched last night against the Marlins, is scheduled to pitch on Wednesday. Get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Here's Ibanez. Raul 0 for 2 tonight with a couple strikeouts. Mike Sweeney is out on deck. As you mentioned, the Nationals bullpen, the Phillies this year, not including last night's ball game or even tonight's game, but the bullpen for the Nationals had thrown 40 in the 3rd. Phillies had scored 24 earned runs against them.
Well, a lot of that was early.
Yep.
They torched them the first 2 series. Phillies were scoring all kinds of runs. Everybody talking about the greatest offensive team in the history of Philadelphia. And, that came to a little bit of a halt. And with the combination of the injuries and guys going, not swinging the bats real well. But those first, they won 4 out of 6 against Washington, and they smoked them in a lot of those games. So, and a lot of that was on their bullpen. They're better now.
Well, Slayton got away with a pitch there, and it remains 1-2. There's Sweeney. Well, there's Mike Rizzo, the general manager of the Washington Nationals. He no doubt has a lot on his mind right now. His starting pitcher, Steven Strasburg, left after 4 1/3 tonight. The #1 overall pick a year ago has spent time on the DL, and it didn't look good as he walked off the mound tonight. A swing and a miss, and Ibanez has been struck out 3 times tonight.
Well, he has that good slurvy type of breaking ball, and he kind of jumps at the left-handed hitter, and he can make him look bad.
Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They were receiving a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Mike Sweeney is that figure walking around home plate. He's just been announced as a pinch hitter. And it looks like Jim Riggleman's going to keep Slayton in the game. Schneider's the on-deck batter, another lefty. Guess he figures with a 4-run lead. And 2 outs, he would roll with it. And Sweeney fouls that one back. We just saw Mike Rizzo, the GM of the Nationals, heading up toward the concourse. We saw him on the phone just a second ago.
He could have heard from the trainer, from the medical staff. Who knows? Obviously, he has a lot on his mind. The Phillies teams do a great job cooperating with each other in those kind of situations. When they have doctors on call, they have X-ray rooms in the ballpark. It's so much more sophisticated than it used to be. First thing you used to do is the guy got hurt, you put him in a car and run him up to Methodist Hospital. That's what we used to do all the time. And now, they can do a lot more right here in the ballpark than they used to. And I'm not saying they didn't do that, but now the facilities are so good in these new parks.
I remember the first day I walked past a door that said X-ray on it. You're kind of startled.
Yep.
But figure it makes sense. It said X-ray here at the ballpark.
Yeah.
Sweeney hits it hard, backhanded by Desmond. Has time to set himself and throw. And the side is retired. Strong arm by Ian Desmond. And it's a 1-2-3 seventh for Doug Slayton. We played 7. We go to the 8th. Adam Dunn shaking his head as he goes back to the dugout. Dealer.com. By Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. By McDonald's. Try McDonald's new Angus snack wraps. Everything you love about the Angus burgers in a wrap for just $1.99. McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota, and now's the perfect time to get yours during Toyota's National Clearance Event. Well, top of the 8th, new pitcher for the Phils. It's Jose Contreras. He'll pick up for J.C. Romero. Pitched very well tonight. An inning in the 3rd for J.C. 1 strikeout.
Yeah, J.C. did a great job now. Jose Contreras, you hope he can continue this. The Phillies look dead in the water tonight. They just do. But they've been rallying lately in games. It's not like it was early in the year when they were in these spots you thought it's over. And showed no signs of life. They have been doing that. So, you hold them right here. You never know with 6 outs.
Ivan Rodriguez leads it off for the Nationals. It'll be Ivan Rodriguez, Willie Harris, and then the pitcher's spot. And due up against Contreras. Part of the success the Phillies have had since the 22nd of July is just what Wheels was talking about, coming from behind. In fact, since the 22nd of July, the Phillies are 21-6.
Yeah, I mean, the whole key is, J.C. did his job, and now you hope Jose can do his job, and you can get after the back end of their bullpen, which is not easy. But, certainly in this ballpark, you can throw some numbers up in a hurry.
Well, that 21-6 record by the Phillies The loss by the Twins today to the Angels. Best record in baseball. Rodriguez, a one-hopper, shallow left. Jimmy, strong throw, one away.
Oh, well, let's see. What was it? Well, 2-7 twice. Almost 2-8 in 79. So there it was. There were those numbers.
And 81 was the strike year. That's why that's low after the World Championship.
Right, exactly.
1,638,752.
Yeah, I lost a bunch of games in 81.
So 79, 2,775,000.
And they went over in 93, and then of course it got over here to this beautiful place to do it again.
Willie Harris is aboard with one out. That's the first hit of the night for Willie Harris. And Kevin Mensch has just been introduced as a pinch hitter for the Nationals. We figure that 79 season was Pete Rose's first year.
Yeah.
So off of the playoff appearances previous couple years, plus Pete Rose, that's why there was such a jump.
Yeah, that year started off great. And then, well, you talk about injuries. And then the Pirates were just so good. The We Are Family Pirates. They had back-to-back weekends, and I think they beat the Phillies I think it was 7 out of 8. It was bad, whatever it was. It may have been 8 out of 9. It might have had a 4 out of 5 game series in there. I don't remember, but I don't want to remember because it was so bad. But John Milner hit a grand slam home run off Tug, and
hammer.
Ed Ott hit one off him. In fact, Tug threw 4 grand slam home runs in 79. They're all left-handed hitters. One of them was Terry Kennedy. And the other one was, I want to say, Bill Buckner. Those 4 guys.
That screwball was going down and in.
Down and in to left-handed hitters. Or they may have been fastballs, because he didn't want to throw it. But that was a kind of an off year for Tug and the Phillies. And then 80, that was fun.
0-1 the count to Mensch. Kevin Mensch, who grew up a Phillies fan, growing up in Delaware. 3 years at the University of Delaware. Pretty good hitter's ballpark down on the campus of the University of Delaware.
Where our old pal and former boss Ruly Carpenter is very involved in Delaware sports. He can't wait for the Blue Hens football season to start. He's very involved in the baseball program down there. Of course, the field house where the basketball team plays is named after his father. The Carpenters got that built down there. So University of Delaware and the Carpenter family are forever entwined.
They got a pretty good player coming into their program this year. Logan Gallagher, Dave Gallagher, former Phil, his son. He's drafted by the Dodgers. Can hit. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed, and Schneider was interfered with.
Man.
I thought. I mean, if ever you're going to be interfered with, he was interfered with.
Well, he didn't give much room to throw. I don't know if there's any contact, but I don't know that it has to always be contact either. But that's a big body going in front of you. And Kevin Mensch got a run and jump at first at Harris. Now,
well, he tried to get out of the way.
And he ducked, and there was no contact, I don't think. Let's see from the side. Nope, no contact. Brian Honor's done a good job back there tonight. He's had a couple of tough calls and gotten them right.
So Mensch strikes out. And Contreras can get out of this 8th inning if he can retire Nigel Morgan.
Just don't want to let them score a 2-out run here because that really builds up some more momentum for Washington.
Morgan tripled back at the second, didn't score. Kyle Kendrick threw him out at the plate on a ground ball back to the box. Brian Schneider slides over to make that play, and it's 1-1. Another broken bat. Chase charges, and Morgan's retired. So is the side here in the 8th. No runs, 1 hit. 1 man left in scoring position. Now the Phillies offense being given a chance here as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Phillies have 6 outs to get back in within reach of this ball game. They trail it by just 4, 5-1. They'll send the bottom of the order up. Brian Schneider, Ben Francisco, and then the top against Tyler Clippard. Clippard on a relief of Doug Slayton, who did a really nice job. Slayton went 1 2/3 scoreless. Steven Strasburg started. He went 4 1/3, left with an apparent injury. Craig Stammen then pitched a scoreless inning of relief. Then Slayton, now Clippard. He's been a workhorse for the Nationals. And while he was in the bullpen, he kept himself busy with Sean Burnett wheels with a little kiss cam.
That was funny. Crowd loved that. That was the last one they put up.
Look at Jim Riggleman. He thought that was funny.
Says, oh, well, they're bullpen guys. What do you expect?
One quirky lefty. Clippard delivers a strike to Brian Schneider.
It's almost redundant.
Quirky and lefty. Yeah. Clippard looks like he's got a little quirkiness to him.
Oh. This guy's done a pretty good job. He can. He can hit him too, but on a given night, he has above average fastball and a really good changeup. So he can get left-handed hitters out. And they use him.
Well, up until the 24th of July, his earned run average was 1.42. I mean, that's darn good.
Yeah.
But you think about what he did to begin the year. I mean, he won 7 games within the first 8 weeks of the season.
Well, look what he's done lately. That's my point about their bullpen is not. They have this guy in Storen at the end, and Storen has a great arm, and they're just better.
There's Burnett.
When you consider they had Matt Capps too, and let him go because they weren't going anywhere, and they decided they'd move him to Minnesota and get some players. And they wanted to find out about more about Clippard and Storen.
Swing and a miss. He overpowered him with a 93 high fastball. And 1 out. So the Nationals bullpen in relief of Strasburg has allowed just 1 hit.
Change up before that, and then high fastball, threw it by him. He'll throw a breaking ball too, but he's going to basically come after your fastball changeup.
Ben doubled his only at bat tonight. And they was stranded at third with 1 out. can never decide if a guy that comes over the top like that is easier or harder to hit if you're a hitter.
Well, it depends if you see the ball. Because a lot of times the guy that get him over the top, you can see the ball better. But is he deceptive? Does he hide it? To me, he looks like he hides it, even though he comes over the top because he kind of hooks it.
Right, and the glove comes out front. Rick Sutcliffe was good at that, where he would hide the ball, even though he came over the top, almost like an old batting machine.
Yeah, I mean, right. The key to a hitter is to see the ball as quickly as possible out of the guy's hand. So if they can hide it a little bit, they're a lot more effective.
Off the end of the bat, foul territory, first base side. Nice running grab by Adam Duck.
See, there's one of those changeups after a fastball, and he's way out in front of it and just hits it off the end of the bat. Here's his delivery. Now, as Tom says, he's over the top, but watch, see how he hooks it behind his back. And I don't know, you have to ask hitters, but to me, they probably don't pick him up as easily as you would think from a guy coming over the top because he has some deception.
So a ground out, or excuse me, a strikeout and a pop out, and they're 2 away for Jimmy Rollins. Jimmy's hitless in 3 at bats tonight.
He threw a breaking ball. And he doesn't throw a whole lot of breaking balls. You know, he's going to throw fastball, changeup, and take his luck with that because he's a 1-inning guy.
In the air to right field. Pretty well hit. That's a bullet, and it's off the scoreboard. It dies on the warning track, and that gives Jimmy a chance to cruise into second.
Well, Jimmy's going to want to go look at that swing right there. That's his swing. Not late, but he waits on the ball. It's a fastball, and he's quick. Watch how he just sits, and then just quick at the end. And that's Jimmy Rollins' left-handed swing, and he almost hits the ball of the ballpark, but he didn't roll it over like he's been doing because he, getting out front a little bit.
Well, he is safe and secure at second base, safe and secure with New York life.
Jimmy Rollins, the shorter his swing, the more effective he is. When his swing gets long, he rolls the ball and rolls it over.
Now with the runner in scoring position, Polanco gets a chance to bat for the 4th time tonight.
And nobody knows their swing better than Jimmy.
Charlie was kind of talking about that the other day, the timing for Jimmy Rollins. That a lot of hitters are timing hitters, but for Jimmy, that is certainly the case.
Well, Jimmy has that ability that most guys don't have to be able to wait a long time because his hands are so quick.
Check swing, and a squibber over to second. Kennedy's to his left, and the side is retired. Clifford got into the kitchen of Placido Polanco, and Jimmy stranded in scoring position. We've played 8. We go to the 9th. Phillies trail it by 4. Malaco breaks down all the action from this game and provides expert analysis found nowhere else. Phillies postgame live presented by Sloan Toyota, following the game right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Interested to hear Ricky's take on Strasburg and his electric stuff. He was talking about it during the pregame show, but also about the reaction that Strasburg had when he threw that pitch. Because I think every pitcher has kind of felt something like that along the way. As Chad Durbin's about to appear in his 46th game. We still haven't heard anything as to what the apparent injury is to Steven Strasburg, and they may just wait until after the game. Well, so far, our W.B. Mason delivery of the ball game was a painful one for Steven Strasburg.
Yeah, with Dominic Brown back, it looked like he threw a changeup there, and you see him wince immediately, and then takes a look towards that elbow. And, pretty easy to see that. Everybody came running towards him for the Nationals, and that was it for his night. And he is not eligible to win the game because he didn't complete 5 innings.
He was on the disabled list with a stiff right shoulder. Nothing to do with the elbow, although one sometimes has a lot to do with the other. Jim Riggleman thinking about his lineup card.
Everybody up, so it looks like Clippard's going to pitch the 9th inning. Pretty easy 8th.
But he's not due to bat here in the 9th.
Right. Yeah, if he was going to hit, well, then you'd know for sure. But, and then whether they go after more runs or not.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Ian Desmond's had himself a night.
We talked about him early in the game. He's got great potential to be a good player.
Well, that's a 4-hit night that jumps his average up close to 280.
I mean, what can he do? He can run. He can throw. He's got power. He plays shortstop. You see why they like him. We want to, moving other guys out of their organization and give him a chance to play a lot.
He just has to manage those throws from shortstop, but that'll get better as the years go on, you would think.
Some of the Nationals people were telling me that he gets charged with errors at home, especially when he gets to balls that nobody's even going to think about getting to, and then we'll throw a ball in the dirt or something and an error on it. And you have to see a guy play a whole year, and you know what he is. And you just see him in bits and pieces where you look and say, oh, 27 errors. Boy, he's terrible. So, maybe he has games where he is, but every time we see him, all I see are tools.
Well, you think back to some of the guys who have made errors on his level. The numbers couldn't throw over, and Durbin nearly picked them off. We mentioned Jose Valentin made 36 errors in 2000. Valentin had himself a good career. He wasn't always an exceptional defensive shortstop.
Quick move there by Chad.
Jose Offerman in '92 made 42 errors. And he was a pretty good player.
Made a lot of errors. I don't know how many he made like that. Was Gary Templeton when he first came up. And he was a tremendous shortstop. But he made a lot of careless errors.
One that counted done.
Let's see. If he's making 27, 30 errors this time next year, then you go, well, maybe he's not going to be that much better.
And maybe he's going to be a center fielder.
Yeah. The kind of athleticism that he has. But, that kind of player, you'd like to have him play shortstop.
Speaking of Jose Valentin, saw him on television yesterday. His son hit 2 home runs at the Little League World Series yesterday for Puerto Rico.
Is that right?
His father is the manager of the Puerto Rico.
No kid.
Pitch is taken low. The throw to second. Desmond's trying to swipe the bag. He's out at second. Oh, wait.
It's ball 4.
I'm sorry.
I
was buying into everything.
And he walked off the bag. He was starting to walk off the bag, too, and that play's still live. And, wait a minute. What's done to him? Oh, he's just coming back.
Yeah,
they're going to run for him. Yeah, that was ball 4. Yeah. But they were, Brian Schneider was pointing like crazy to second that if he wanted off that bag, that play's still live and you can tag him. See right here. Well, now see him starting to walk off because he thought he's out.
I thought it was a strike to Dunn. And I was watching Schneider throw it out of the chute from behind home plate because he made a good throw.
Well, that's why catchers want a quick call from an umpire in a spot like that, because they don't want to throw down there on a ball because that thing's live. And he was out. He was probably going to be out at second.
Well, Jerry called him out at second.
Right. Very good. And Desmond sees that he's called out, so he wanders off the bag. Jerry had called him out, and then Jimmy throws the ball back to Chase Utley, thinking he's out because he didn't know it was strike 3 or ball 4. A lot of stuff going on there for a walk.
Oh. One and two the count. Schneider blocked that. Maxwell was starting to go to second. The only problem was Desmond was still at second. And a call, strike 3. That's pretty good pitching right there by Durbin.
Chad put a fastball in a real good spot there to Zimmerman.
Well, one away, and here's Roger Bernardina. Bernardina tonight has scored a couple runs. Phillies bullpen, as well as Kyle Kendrick in his last couple of innings. Well, they've done a nice job keeping this at a 4-run deficit. Just that the offense has not been able to get a whole lot going. A couple of guys hoping to work tonight, Ryan Madsen and Brad Lidge, but a lot has to happen for that to happen. In fact, extra innings have to happen for that to happen. Down the right field line. That's pretty well hit by Bernardina, and that one is gone. A 3-run home run for Roger Bernardina. And that's made this an 8-1 Washington lead.
The dreaded down and in to a left-handed hitter. There it is again. This is your guy.
Three-run home run.
Cutter. Oh, look where that was. You know, you see cutters all the time from right-handed pitchers, and you know when you get one on that back foot, they swing and miss or hit it foul. But when you put it in the middle of the plate like that, or even in a little bit further, they don't have to go real far to get to it.
That home run for Bernardina, his 8th of the year, first home run since the 5th of August. And it's 2-0 to Adam Kennedy.
Yeah, the Phillies had a shot tonight, pick up a game on the Atlanta Braves just like they did the other night, and they're going to probably lose this game.
Well, pick up a game on the Braves, pick up a game on the Giants too in the wild card.
I don't like that wild card right now.
Well, but it's
I know what you mean. You got to talk
it's
about
there.
it, but the wild card's like for the 2nd or 3rd week of September. 3rd week of September.
It is nice to front run at something, though.
Oh, yeah.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, you see the Cardinals. Pedro Feliz and Chris Carpenter. Defeated the Giants 5-1.
He was showing no signs of much offense with Houston this year. Cardinals went 4 or 5 in a row. They've lost, so they're going to try and snap that tonight.
Back to the box, and Durbin's got it. 2 outs. Here's Ivan Rodriguez with 2 away. I think the good thing about the wild card that we've come to find out just from talking to the players, well aware of it, but as they'll tell you, Jimmy said it perfectly, and Charlie has said this, that's not their objective. Their objective is to win the National League East again.
Right. You start thinking about the wild card seriously when you can't win the division.
There was a point a couple of years ago where the Phillies thought about the wild card because they were in second place and they had the Brewers coming to town with a 4-game series and they were trailing it by 4.
Yeah, and it looked like the Mets were going to win.
It's down the right field line. Ben Francisco gives it a peek.
The Mets looked like they had the division under control at that point. Now you're just dealing with a team in front of you that's 2 in the loss column. That's all. A long way to go. But you got to win your own games and worry about all that other stuff later. Nationals have not had a whole lot of luck in this ballpark. 14-2 for the Phillies in the last 16 games, and unless they have a miraculous ninth, they're going to win their 3rd.
Yeah, and tighten up this season series between the two.
Washington's a better team right now. You know, they're a dangerous. They've always given the Phillies trouble, but they're a dangerous team to play because they can do more things. They have some speed. They've got a better bullpen. They're a better team than they used to be. They're not the type of team that you think. I don't think the Phillies ever thought they were easy, to be honest with you. But I think fans do. You think, oh, well, here come the Nats. They'll win 3 in a row off these guys.
It's 3-2 now to Pudge.
You gave some numbers last night how good they are against the Eastern Division.
Yeah, you know, and I say that in relative terms because they're in last place, so you would think that their numbers would be worse against the National League East, but they're better than the Mets against the National League East, and the Mets are ahead of them in the standings. There's Willie Harris, waits on deck.
Teams know who plays you tough and who doesn't. They know these guys play them tough.
Swing and a miss, and Durbin wins that battle. But he lost the war here in the 9th as he allowed a 3-run home run to Roger Bernardina. Phillies down to their final chance, and they're down by 7. Last chance to try to make some magic as Chase Utley will lead it off against Miguel Batista. 45th game for the veteran Batista. 1-2 with a 4.45 earned run average. A couple changes for the Nationals with Adam Dunn being lifted from the game. Nationals need a new first baseman. So Adam Kennedy will move from second base over to first. And that means they need a new second baseman. And Alberto Gonzalez takes over at second. And Batista is scheduled to face Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, and Shane Victorino here in the ninth. Tomorrow, these two teams will wrap up the series. And it'll be Scott Olson, who has said before that he just doesn't like the Phillies, against Roy Oswalt. We're talking about the East versus East. And see, the Phillies are 24-21 against the East. The Braves 23-21. The Marlins 24-21. And the Mets do have one more win than the Nationals. But it's pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, the best team is the Phillies and the Marlins with 24, and the Nationals are 3 behind them. So this division's really competitive, and they're going to see each other a lot in September.
Final 25 games. That's right, 25 games. Final 25.
After Milwaukee is here. Early in September, it's all East-East.
At least for the Phillies, it's all
the Phillies. Right.
So here's Chase leading it off. And he takes a fastball for a strike.
They're going to bat Batista ninth and Gonzalez third. Nope. Now they changed it.
Outside, 1-1 to Chase. Chase is 0 for 3 tonight. To the count to Chase. Well, we'll see what Charlie Manuel does tomorrow, but tomorrow could be just the 7th time that Charlie has that lineup that we've talked about, that one that he had penciled in at the beginning of the year. Just the 7th time. Now 8th if you count opening day here at the ballpark when Jimmy was in the lineup but didn't play because of the calf strain, the original one. I think everybody thought that tonight was going to be the 7th time he would have his normal lineup out there.
And there's no guarantees for tomorrow either because you got a lefty.
And a day game after a night game.
Yep. You could see him not play either Utley or Howard or something like that. Or Ibanez, sure.
So at some point in the next couple of days,
it'll happen.
He'll have his everyday lineup.
Might be for Brett Myers.
Could be. Figure Carlos will be back in tomorrow afternoon. Chase is aboard to start the ninth. Ryan Howard has the only RBI for the Phillies tonight. He came on a ground out back in the 4th. He singled in the 2nd. One of 2 hits allowed by Steven Strasburg, who went 4 in the 3rd. He allowed a run on 2 hits, left after something happened to his arm as he threw a pitch. Ryan hits it hard. Look out. Oh boy. I think everybody's okay. Startled, but okay.
There's the ball back here. Looked like that little girl had it. Ball girl made a try for it and also trying to get out of the way.
over at first. A leadoff walk here in the bottom of the ninth. Ryan hits it in the air, left center field. Bernardina on the run to the warning track, to the wall, and it is caught. He caught the ball. Utley has to circle back around second. The ball hits him, so he's safe at first. Roger Bernardina just did his best Spider-Man impersonation. He climbed the wall and robbed Ryan Howard of at least an extra base hit and an RBI and probably a home run.
Yeah, he did a great job of timing that, too, because he was under control the whole time. Ryan looked like he got in on him a little bit, and he didn't get all of it. And here he goes. He knows where the wall is. Well, that's a great play.
It wasn't going out of the yard, but it was at least going to go off the top of the fence.
Oh, yeah. But he was under control when he got there. He knew exactly where the wall was, and then, as you said, made his Spider-Man leap. Well, he's had an interesting ninth inning. 3-run homer and takes extra bases away from Ryan Howard.
Victorino's 0 for 3 this evening. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Shane.
Yeah, if that throw doesn't hit Chase in the back, he's double. They did a heck of a job of getting that back in a hurry.
And Chase, because he rounded second, had to touch it again before he went back to first.
Well, there's no doubt in his mind that ball was off the wall. That was the least that was going to happen there. Maybe it was a home run when he hit it, but it was going to be off the wall.
Time for a little gum. And Victorino is rung up for the second out. And he's saying, Third time he's gone down on strikes.
Here you go with Chase Utley. As Tom said, he's around second, and right at that point he thought, oh, that thing's going to hit the wall. Then Bernardina grabs it, gets it back into Gonzalez, and then Gonzalez's throw hits Chase in the back, and he gets back.
I always think that he somehow has some kind of telepathy when it comes to where the ball's going. He always seems to find the line.
Well, he's an infielder, so infielders have that sixth sense of where to run because they know where they're trying to throw.
Well, I was thinking maybe he was looking at Kennedy and saying, I'm going to run right at Kennedy because there's a pretty good chance the ball is going to go in that direction.
Well, exactly what you're trying to do is read the guy and see which way he's leaning. And in that case, he was standing right on the bag, so his thought was, I might as well go straight at it.
Well, he goes to second with a defensive indifference. It's 2-0 to Raul.
Infielders know how to block those infielders' throws now. They have it happen to them enough.
It just seems like he does better than anybody else.
Well, he's a real player out there. You know, he's a guy that has a very good sense of how to play the game. The little things.
Ball 4, and Raul's aboard. And Jason Worth is going to get a chance to pinch hit. Storin is out, loosening in the pen for the Nationals. Steve McCaddy's going to come out to the mound. So Jason will pinch hit. What's this conversation about, Wheels, with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth and a 7-run lead?
Scouting report? I don't know what else it could be. They just took a look back in.
It does look like that. It's a long conversation. Brian Honora is finally out to break it up.
Gives Story a little time to warm up, too. Not that they think they're going to need him, but you never know.
You see Jason's numbers. Very good against the Nationals this year.
Home run here. It is still not a save situation.
2 aboard, 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Phillies trail at 8-1. And a strike. See Jason's career numbers as a pinch hitter. In the air to right center field. Nyjer Morgan calls off Willie Harris, and the ball game is over. Morgan went back to the warning track to make that grab, and the Nationals have evened up this series as they've taken game 2 from the Phils by a final score of 8-1. So the Phils will look for the series victory tomorrow, and they're hoping to cool off Ivan Rodriguez, who is the Chevy player of the game. His 2-run base hit in the first inning capped off a 3-run first for the Nationals and really deflated this crowd and put the Phillies behind the 8 ball pretty quickly. And then he went on and did a really nice job behind the plate handling this Nationals pitching staff that allowed just 1 run in tonight's ball game against the Phils. So the Phillies drop game 2, 8-1, the final score. We'll be back to talk more about it after this.